generations roar. Hearts united, we're ready for more. Through every challenge, we'll light the flame. The world will remember our name.
Marc, Rachel, Anthony, Blaine, and Skorcha gathered at the bustling airport. The energy's still high after Marc's big win at the Cinnabar Island Gym. Blaine was preparing to leave for Alola after earning a wrestling scholarship. Marc beamed with pride, clutching his volcano badge. Charlie, now a Charmeleon, stood proudly beside him.
Thanks for an amazing battle, Marc,
Skorcha said with her Flareon by her side. It was saying goodbye to Rachel's Eevee. The two had become close friends. Rachel took out one of the Firestones she had won in the SS Ann contest and approached Eevee. Could this be the one? Like the Water and Thunderstones, Eevee sniffed the Firestone carefully. After a moment, Eevee turned away, rejecting yet another evolutionary stone. Rachel was certain this time, but she respected Eevee's decision. Skorcha chuckled and then turned to her brother Blaine, giving him a tight hug.
Grandpa would be so proud. Give our love to Kiawe when you get there.
Blaine smiled and then turned to Marc.
Thanks, Marc. I'll be cheering you on in the Kanto League. I really hope we meet again someday.
Blaine raced towards his gate. The group watched as his jumbo plane soared into the sky.
So, where are you three headed next?
Anthony pulled out his Rotom phone, checking the map. There's a Junior Frontier tournament in Lavender Town. Gasper popped out of his Pokeball, looking jittery.
Master, listen. We don't need to go there. Lavender Town is overrated. Trust me.
Marc smirked and gently returned Gasper to his ball. We're going anyway. The trio said their goodbyes to Skorcha, boarding a small plane bound for their next adventure. During the flight, Rachel and Marc were surprised to see Anthony looking anxious. Even the slightest rumble made him flinch. Anthony sat stiffly, gripping the armrests. This is my first ever plane ride. I never went on vacation growing up. Couldn't afford it, but now, thanks to the trainer money...
It's just an hour flight. We'll be in Lavender Town before you know it.
Marc turned to the window, his eyes catching a shadow in the distance. He blinked, tired, and then leaned back to rest. But then, the plane shook violently. What was that? Marc's eyes shot open. Out the window, a green blur zipped past. Celebi, wings fluttering fast. Marc's heart skipped. He knew something was chasing it. A massive ball of energy came flying towards Celebi. Mew-Z! In a flash, Celebi dodged, but the attack slammed into the plane. The aircraft split in two. Passengers screamed as they were hurling into the open sky.
Call your Pokémon!
Marc reached into his belt, tossing a Pokeball. Nimbus burst out, and Marc grabbed his Talon with one hand, cradling his egg with the other. Anthony's Beedrill swooped in to catch him. Rachel was caught midair by Fearow. All three Pokemon strained against the wind, wings beating furiously. But then, Marc's eyes widened in horror as his egg slipped from his grasp, vanishing through the clouds. That wasn't all. 3 of his Pokeballs fell from his belt, 2 from Rachel, 1 from Anthony. The trio's screams echoed, their hearts broken as there was nothing they could do.
Who's that Pokémon?
Hey Elite Trainers, Victor from Galar here. If you love building strategic teams like in Pokémon, check out Raid Shadow Legends. With AAA graphics, epic champions, and endless content like campaigns, dungeons, and the arena. New players can redeem one of these promo codes in the first 48 hours for a free legendary champion. Monkey King for Sun Wukong, available until the end of June. Get Alice for Alice the Wanderer, available until the end of September. Tree Hugger for Green Warden Ruok, available until October the 22nd. Use my link or QR code and get Elinaril on sign up, Tagore at level 15, and Ugo at level 30. Already playing? Use GameLeap or PP500 for energy, silver, and more. Just 1 code per day. Plus, log in between April the 10th and May the 5th to get Ludex Artor, and vote for your final legendary relic. I wish I had these rewards when I started. So hit the link or scan the code. Only this way unlocks the bonuses. Time to build your dream team.
It's Humpty Dumpty.
Across a vast field of snow, 6 Pokeballs lay scattered and still. One twitched, then popped open. Charlie emerged and glanced around, confused. Noticing the other Pokeballs, she hurried over and tapped them lightly.
Come on, wake up.
One by one, the others appeared. Ray, Darius, Dratini, Eevee, and Vulpix. Each looked around, equally puzzled.
I think we ended up on some abandoned island. The last thing I remember, we were where those flying crafts were coming and going.
They're called aeroplanes. Ray's ears drooped with worry.
Maybe there was an accident.
Sounds far-fetched to me. Maybe Rachel and the others just abandoned us.
Evie growled, stepping forward.
Rachel would never do that!
Shows what you know.
Without warning, Evie lunged at Vulpix, tackling her into the snow. They scuffled, kicking up flurries.
Enough!
Charlie stomped between them, forcing them apart.
Fighting won't get us off this island. We need to find someone who can help.
Dratini let out a chirp. Up ahead, stuck high in the branches of a leafless tree, was Marc's egg, cradled precariously. Before they could act, a Mankey darted from the underbrush and snatched the egg.
Hey, come back!
The group charged after Mankey, but a troop of Primate blocked their path, growling and pounding the ground. Just as the Pokemon braced for battle, a Wartortle, Wigglytuff, and Weevil sprang in, each wearing green scarves. Together, they drove the Primate away. The danger passed, but the Mankey and the egg were gone. Charlie stepped forward, determined.
We're not leaving without that egg.
Wartortle locked eyes with her. After a moment, he nodded.
We can help. We're part of a rescue team. We protect Pokemon from evil humans. And Pokemon.
Weevil seemed unimpressed.
We shouldn't waste time on strangers.
We help any Pokemon in need.
Wartortle turned to the group.
Follow me.
The rescue team led the group toward a dark, winding cave. With no other choice, the stranded Pokemon followed their new allies into the unknown. Elsewhere on the island, Marc, Anthony, and Rachel lay sprawled across the snowy ground, shivering and gasping for breath. Above them, Nimbus, Beedrill, and Fearow flapped their wings weakly, struggling to recover. Marc scrambled to his feet, looking around frantically.
Charlie! Darius! Ray! Where are you?
Anthony and Rachel also called out for their Pokemon, but the howling winds swallowed their voices.
We need to move before we freeze to death!
A voice cut through the cold.
You need to get off this island.
Marc, Rachel, and Anthony turned sharply. Standing before them were 4 hooded figures. The leader wore a deep red shade, their faces hidden in the shadows. The trio tensed, unsure whether to run or fight.
We need to find our Pokemon!
The red hooded man stepped forward.
We are also searching. But if we help you find them, you must promise to leave this island immediately.
The trio exchanged uneasy glances, but nodded, desperation outweighing doubt. Wordlessly, they followed the cloaked figures, hearts pounding with worry for their lost Pokemon. Back in the cave, Charlie, Ray, Darius, Dratini, Eevee, and Vulpix followed the 3 rescuers through the winding tunnels. Ahead, a bright light shimmered. They stepped out into a snowy terrain built entirely of ice and snow. Pokemon from all over the world bustled through the streets, lined with snow-made houses and markets. Many wore colored scarves, each marking their rank as rescuers. Wartortle turned to explain.
Many poachers come here to capture the rare Pokemon that call this island home.
Darius lifted his head proudly.
Ray and I used to be part of a team that rescued sick and vulnerable Pokemon. Our friends ended up becoming Pokemon Rangers.
Weevil scoffed, but before he could lash out, Wigglytuff quickly stepped between them. The tension eased, and the group moved through the snowy streets until they reached a towering igloo at the town's center. A Mr. Rhyme greeted them at the entrance, a dignified air about him.
Welcome! I am the mayor of this town. We have a growing problem. The Primate Bandits. If we don't stop them soon, they'll overrun our home.
He leaned closer, lowering his voice.
It's rumored they are the ones allowing poachers to slip onto our island.
Before anyone could respond, a Murkrow swooped down from the gray sky, dropping a letter into Mr. Rhyme's hands. He unfolded it and read aloud.
The leader's made an offer. Give up the town or the eggs get squished.
Charlie growled fiercely, tail lashing behind her.
We will not surrender our town. We will rescue that egg.
He turned to the green-scarfed rescuers.
You three, prepare for a mission to steal the egg back.
Charlie stepped forward, fire in her eyes.
We'll help too.
The mayor studied the group, sensing the strength and spirit forged by their trainers. Vulpix yawned dramatically.
I'd rather take a nap.
Eevee snapped at her, furious. Dratini slithered between them, trying to keep the peace.
It's not like this snowy place is great for a fire type anyway.
Mr. Rhyme chuckled and pulled out green scarves, handing one to each outsider. Weevil scowled, clearly displeased. Charlie tightened her new scarf with pride. Together, the new team set out, ready to rescue the stolen egg and face whatever dangers lay ahead. Meanwhile, night had fallen over the island as Marc, Rachel, and Anthony continued following the hooded figures through the snow. The cold bit harder under the dark sky. Whispers passed between the cloaked strangers ahead, barely audible. Rachel glanced at their hidden faces nervously.
Why do they wear cloaks?
Only the red hooded figure spoke. He kept his voice low, but direct as he questioned them. Where were they from? What were their goals? Rachel answered first, mentioning her dream of becoming a top coordinator. At her words, the figure in gray hesitated mid-step before continuing without a word. Marc stepped forward, his voice strong against the cold.
I want to be just like my hero, Ash Ketchum. Even though I want to be world champion, my real wish is to find Ash, battle him, and become friends.
And the red hooded figure paused, his head turning sharply toward Marc. A strange sound escaped him, a scoff or a growl. His tone was harsh when he spoke.
You're chasing a pipe dream.
Marc's fists clenched, but before he could reply, a rumble shook the ground. Giant Abomasnow burst from the shadows, roaring. The trio braced themselves, but just the red and gray figures moved, each tossing a Pokeball. A massive Venusaur appeared beside a gleaming, shiny Rapidash. With swift, brutal efficiency, they defeated the Abomasnow with one hit. Marc stared in awe, strong trainers hiding beneath those robes. Without a word, the hooded figures pressed onward. The trio had no choice but to follow, questions burning in their minds. High in the mountains, the Pokémon hiked through the thick snow beneath a moonlit sky. Eevee and Vulpix bickered as usual, their voices echoing off the icy walls. Darius and Weevil exchanged tense glances, the air between them thick with unspoken rivalry. Without a warning, a blizzard swept over them. And then, boulder-sized snowballs tumbled down the cliff, heading straight for the group. The Pokémon jumped into action, launching attacks to break the incoming snow. All but Vulpix, who stood back with a scoff.
These weren't natural. Someone's watching us.
Maybe the primate were tipped off.
They pushed forward cautiously. Soon, they discovered a massive nest tucked in a rocky clearing. Blue eggs rested gently inside, along with Marc's egg. Before they could approach, a troop of Mankey and Primeape leapt from the shadows, blocking the path. At the center stood their leader, Annihilape. The Pokémon froze as Annihilape snarled.
You three rescuers are frauds! You stole something sacred, and now we think we found it.
He pointed to Marc's egg.
Give us the stolen egg, and you can take this one.
We never stole an egg!
The mountain echoed with roars as a battle erupted. Amid the chaos, Annihilape targeted Vulpix with a brutal attack. She flinched, but Eevee threw herself in the way, taking the full blow. She hit the snow hard, badly wounded. Vulpix stared, stunned.
Well, why did you save me?
It's what Rachel would do. She's out there, looking for both of us.
Tears welled up in Vulpix's eyes. She rushed to Eevee's side, helped her up, and gently licked her cheek. A loud caw echoed through the sky. The blizzard stilled as Articuno descended, wings glowing in the moonlight. Articuno's voice boomed.
Enough.
treat the wounded. A primeape stepped forward to help Eevee, leaving the others speechless. Articuno revealed the truth. Its own egg had been stolen. The Mankey had mistaken Marc's egg for Articuno's, trying to protect it ever since, but a poacher had already stolen the real one. Articuno and its mate had been searching far and wide for the missing egg. The mother was still out searching.
Then, the rescuers had nothing to do with it.
Suddenly, a bolt of electricity struck Articuno, stunning the legendary bird mid-flight. It collapsed into the snow. A group emerged from the shadows. Team Justice. Charlie and the others froze. Levi, Madison, and Drowsy had arrived. Levi Sandslash stepped forward beside an Alolan Sandshrew. Madison stepped into the clearing, smiling coldly.
Thanks for leading us to Articuno.
Wartortle growled.
What are you talking about?
He was cut off as Wigglytuff struck him from behind, sending him crashing into the snow. Gasping, Weevil turned in shock. Wigglytuff removed her green scarf, tossing it aside. A Clefable stepped forward beside her. Wigglytuff had betrayed them all.
I'm no rescuer. I am now Madison's second Pokemon.
Weevil stepped back, eyes wide. Wartortle laid stunned. But before Team Justice could claim victory, Charlie and the others leapt forward. Fueled by betrayal and rage, Wartortle charged after Wigglytuff, demanding answers.
Why did you betray us?
Wigglytuff stood firm, her voice cold.
I met Levy and Madison while they were searching the island for a rare jewel. At first, I was going to stop them, but Madison explained their mission to bring justice back to the world. I believed in their cause. When we learned Articuno lived here, our new mission became taking its offspring. A team of Articuno would bring true justice.
Wartortle roared in anger and attacked. Wigglytuff fought back fiercely, but Clefable jumped in, shielding her. Charlie rushed forward, joining Wartortle's side. Meanwhile, Ray and Dratini teamed up against Levi's Sandslash, darting and weaving between its spinning attacks. Weevil and Darius fought side by side, forming a tight unit against the Alolan Sandshrew. Their teamwork pushed the enemy back. At the edge of the battlefield, Vulpix stayed by Eevee's side, shielding her from stray attacks. Dratini and Annihilate worked to free Articuno, but every time they touched the electric rope, they were zapped, thrown back by powerful shocks. Before they could try again, Drowsy appeared, blocking their path and ready to battle. Hope began to fade. Then, a blinding light cut through the darkness. The red hooded figure appeared, Venusaur at his side. The other cloaked figures followed. Charlie lifted her head and her eyes widened. It was Marc, Anthony, and Rachel. Wow, it's Articuno! And Team Justice are trying to steal it! Madison and Levi quickly called back their Pokemon, regrouping. The red figure's Venusaur stepped forward, but the two blue hooded figures moved faster. They pulled back their hoods, revealing a Lucario and a Greninja. In a flash, the three Pokemon struck together, overwhelming Team Justice. Madison and Levi barely had time to react. They recalled their Pokemon and activated jetpacks strapped to their backs, blasting into the sky and disappearing into the night. Marc, Anthony, and Rachel rushed to reunite with their Pokemon. Rachel gently wrapped Eevee in her arms, tending to her wounds. Vulpix quietly stepped forward and nuzzled Eevee, surprising Rachel. She glanced between them and smiled. Nearby, Articuno nestled close to its egg, finally at peace.
Return the egg to its true owner.
Annihilate stepped forward, lifting Marc's egg with care and placing it gently at his feet. He turned to Charlie with a respectful nod.
I will be forever grateful to these humans and Pokemon.
The group were shocked to see a second Articuno descend. It was the mother, overjoyed to see her lost egg had been returned. Suddenly, Marc's egg began to glow. Everyone gathered around as the light intensified. Marc was shocked to see a silver-furred Eevee emerge, blinking up at him. Rachel was overjoyed that Marc had an Eevee of his own. Her Eevee perked up, approaching the newborn with curiosity. The shiny Eevee chirped happily and climbed up onto Marc's shoulder. I'll name you Ether. Marc then officially caught his shiny Eevee,
Eevee has been registered to your Pokédex,
adding another member to his growing team. The snowy wind settled as the moment passed. Marc, Anthony, and Rachel stood together, turning to say farewell. The rescue team and Annihilape's kin stood tall. The Pokémon returned to their trainers' sides and were sent into their Pokéballs where they would be warm and safe. They gave the Articuno one final look. They would have loved to spend more time with them, but they had to find a way off this island. As the trio turned to leave, they saw the two remaining hooded figures ahead, alongside Greninja and Lucario. A strange feeling crept into Marc's chest. He stepped forward, trying to speak. "Hey, who are you?" They ignored Marc. "Can you at least help us get off this island?" The red hooded figure stopped.
Battle me, and I'll show you the path.
Marc hesitated, eyes narrowing, but nodded. The figure climbed a high, snowy hill in silence. At the peak, he turned around slowly, looking down at Marc. "At least tell me your name!"
My name. My true name. My true name is Satoshi Redrick Ketchum. But the world knows me as Red. I came to this island to find my son. But now, I need to release my frustration. Marc Masters, battle me!
This is the next generation's roar.